Have any of you seen the story time on here about that guy who's a wedding photographer and he runs away with the bride of the wedding that he films? Basically what happens is it's this wife, the ex-wife, and she's telling you all about her husband who is a wedding photographer. While she's telling you this story, she has this tiny baby like fresh out the kitchen, fresh out the womb, leaning on her, and you're slowly realising, holy hell, this woman was pregnant when this man did this. All summer, her husband, the wedding photographer, he's acting really down in the dumps. She's trying to be there for him. She's like, what's wrong? What's wrong? Tell me what's wrong. Can I help? And eventually she starts to put all the puzzle pieces together and she's like, is it me? Am I the problem? He takes one look at her, his pregnant wife, and he says, yeah, it's you. In fact, not only is it you, I think I need to leave this house. I need to sort myself out. And I don't think it's helpful that I sort myself out whilst in the family mix. Now, mind you, this man already has a toddler with his wife who's pregnant. Not only do they have a toddler, they also have 2 large dogs. So he swans off and takes himself to his mum and dad's house where he can be looked after like the poor little sausage that he is, and leaves this poor woman who's pregnant, heavily pregnant mind you, with a toddler and 2 large dogs. Now eventually this girl, Sarah her name is, she has enough. She's like, I can't do this by myself, it's not fair. She calls her husband because they're still married and they're not breaking up. She's just giving him some space, and she says, darling, I think that it's time that you had a little bit more responsibility. You're going to have to take the dogs. And he's like, I can't take the dogs while I'm living at mum and dad's. And she's like, no, okay, well, it's time you get yourself an apartment. And so he does exactly that. He goes and gets himself an apartment. And now he wants to cry about the fact that he has to pay the bills there and support his child that he's already got, and potentially now this other child, which is also his. Sends her lots of text messages about how he feels very sorry for himself. So begrudgingly, he takes the dogs and he starts to look after the dogs. And there are occasions where she would ring him, come to find out that he's out with his friends getting drunk on the town. She said that he could take a little bit of time to figure himself out, but she didn't say you can go and act like a frat boy. He takes a mile because she gave an inch, and off he goes and carries on acting like a frat boy. Not only does he do that, he also at some point says, I'm going to go on a little work trip. A trip to Orlando. It's the boss's wife, another married couple. And she says, okay, have fun, take care, I'll hold down the fort here. And just to mention, she's also just helped him move in to that apartment that he's staying in. She's helped him do that as well. He just drops another little sprinkling of information and he says, oh, guess what? I will actually be sharing a room with another woman, but don't worry, this woman is married. Nobody else on the trip knows that they're actually separated. And so as far as she thinks, everybody thinks he's still married. So nothing's gonna go on. He comes home, he carries on telling her just how down he is, despite the fact that he's just had a nice little vacay in Orlando. He sends her lots of text messages about how sad he is. He's a very sad boy. And she's like, just come home. Just come home. Let's be a family again. And he's like, no, you know I can't do that. I have to put my mental health first. And so she's like, okay, I guess I'll see you soon then. Just praying that he's going to come home at some point, he's going to sort himself out and things will be good. And then he tells her he's going on another trip, but this time this man that's always complaining about money, he tells her that he's going to take pictures of a DJ set, and she's like, DJs don't have that sort of budget to be putting up these photographers to take pictures of their set. So she's like, you're always moaning about money, where's this money coming from? And then he tells her that, oh, you know my married friend, the one that I shared the room with in Orlando, she's actually paying, so I don't have to worry about that because she's paying, because she's really grateful that I've got her into this like festival where we're going to take pictures of this DJ. And so she's like, this is weird. Does her husband know that she's staying in a room with you again? And he's like, yeah, of course he does. And she's like, okay, well, I'm going to message him and find out then. And he's like, why would you do that? You're a psycho. Anyway, they go to this festival, and then wife at home, she's like, something's not feeling right. So then she starts to stalk this girl. She starts to do a little bit of digging and starts to see that this woman, this married woman, she's uploading all these pictures of her husband. Feels weird. His birthday, she asked him outright, are you cheating on me? And he says no. And she asks him again. He says no. And realising that her husband's a big liar, pants on fire, she decides to just message the boss. You know, the boss, the other videographer, the one that's married and also went on the trip. She messages that woman, the wife. She says, yeah, there is something really weird going on between them two, because they came on the trip, supposedly the pair of them married to other people, stayed in a room together and full-blown act like they were in a full-blown relationship. Full-blown. So I took it upon myself to take a picture of them from underneath the table. This woman, she's on some like spy kid mission. She takes her phone, underneath the table, she takes a picture, and their legs are all intertwined, the hands are all on the thighs, and it's just not looking like married people would behave. People even have matching trainers up there, and she confronts him and he says, yes, it's true. He then gets sectioned because he starts acting a complete fool. And while he's inside this facility, the mistress rings the wife and says, we have to break him out. Oh, now you want to behave like a double act sister act? No, We will not. Eventually he is allowed to come out, and his dad and the wife, they go to pick him up and they take his phone away from him. They just say, you're not going to have it back until you start acting right. I don't know how you feel about that, but that's what they do. Meanwhile, the mistress is ringing up the facility, pretending to be his lawyer because she lives in another state, saying like, I'm his lawyer, I need to get him out. They go home. I think they get fruity a few times. It puts her into labour. She does not allow him to be present at the birth. She tells the mistress that they are still sleeping together, and for some reason this woman still wants to be with this man. No one in my life cares about this, so I have to tell you guys.